Today on Public Eye News, Michigan Tech holds their annual water festival and a missing boy is found.
Later in the show, Adam Diaz takes a look at our weather and Caleb Riedel will take a look at our sports. Hi, I'm Todd Rose.
And I'm Joseph Sigourney, and this is Public Eye News. English graduate students and faculty members of Northern Michigan University developed into an environmental fiction and eco-criticism stay on Granite Island over this week. NMU is the only public university in the nation to offer a course held in a lighthouse. The immersive experience included outdoor exploration, group discussions, and community building in deep writing time. Professors John Billman and Amy Hamilton teach the eco-criticism and environmental writing course. They accompanied 3 graduate students to the island. Students and faculty wrote their field observations in journals, including sketches and watercolor paintings. They reviewed books, maps, and historic lighthouse keeper logs. Students also worked on their capstone writing projects related to Lake Superior and/or Granite Island. Dickinson County Healthcare System's new president, CEO Chuck Nelson, will begin on Monday. At the monthly Board of Trustees meeting Thursday night, DCHS Interim Chief Recruiting Officer Dennis Smith said the $24.6 million USDA loan request for the debt refinances and new technology has entered the next step of the process after the state asked for more questions to be answered. He said DHS experts to hear back in the next 2 weeks and are hopeful on focusing on monthly improvements to the hospital. DCHS's home health care was applauded for earning 5 stars. The hospital will spend $500,000 on new sterilizers and reinvestment in new technology in the upcoming weeks.
A Monday crash in Menominee County left 1 severely injured and 1 man dead. 3 total vehicles were involved in the incident, which police say was caused by a 19-year-old Stevenson man who failed to stop at an intersection. His name is currently being withheld as he awaits further arraignment for his arrest for operating a vehicle under the influence of drugs causing death. Due to his own life-threatening injuries, he is currently in custody of a medical facility. Derek Bryant, a 29-year-old passenger from Vulcan, was the man killed in the accident. A missing Escanaba child was found safe and sound last night after being reported missing earlier in the day. The 11-year-old Jacob Messenger ran away from the school officials while they were talking to him. The officials then called authorities to report the concern for the well-being of the student. This all happened around 11 a.m. in the morning. Around 4:15 in the afternoon, an Escanaba school bus driver reported that they had seen the boy. Police responded by searching the area and finding the missing messenger.
3 people were injured in a Thursday morning crash in Gladstone, according to the Michigan State Police and Gladstone Post. Troopers were dispatched to a 2-vehicle crash at the intersection of 085 Road and Rivers 22nd Road at 7:14 a.m. October 24th. MSP investigations show that 2 Gladstone teenagers were traveling eastbound on Rivers 22nd Road. When they attempted to turn left on the 085 Road, they were struck by a driver heading south on the 085 Road. The teenage driver from Gladstone was airlifted to the UP Health System to Marquette by Valley Med Flight. The teenage passenger and driver from Perkins were taken by ambulance to UPHS in Marquette. The conditions of the 3 individuals are still unknown. Alcohol and speed are not believed to be factors in the crash, and the cause of the crash remains under investigation. High school students from all over the western Upper Peninsula took a trip to Michigan Tech Thursday to learn about the science of the Great Lakes. Students got to rotate through a variety of presentations and hands-on activities throughout their field trip and learn a few things along the way. And stay tuned, because after the break, we'll be back with international and national news.
Many people see it not just as an art movement.
It really captured the essence of the grandeur of the place.
One of the best known in the history of 19th century art.
These waterfalls, these magnificent landscapes, wild, untouched nature. One of the men said, "This artist has done in an instant what I have strived my whole life to do."
Tonight at 10 on WNMU TV.
And welcome back. Controversy continues to bubble from the United States-Mexico border as new reports reveal the total number of children separated from families since July 2017 has now raised to over 5,400. Though the Trump administration has begun to retreat on the practice in favor of other methods of deterring major surges of inbound asylum seekers. Last month, a new policy was introduced by the administration to deny asylum to anyone passing through Mexico that has not asked Mexico for asylum first. And at least 13 active wildfires raging in California have now damaged or destroyed dozens of homes and other buildings. Punishing Santa Ana winds spread flames through subdivisions in Southern California, forcing 200,000 people in California from their homes. Chris Martinez has the latest from Santa Clarita.
Firefighters entered a burning home in Santa Clarita, battling flames that are spreading quickly. The wildfire north of Los Angeles broke out Thursday afternoon and has already charred more than 4,000 acres. Helicopters made water drops in the dark, trying to contain the raging fire before it destroys more property.
It's nerve-wracking, pretty scared right now.
Marie Hill barely got home in time to rescue her dog.
I just started crying really hard, thinking, oh my gosh, she's at the house, we gotta get her.
Firefighters were unable to save a number of homes in this neighborhood, and this will be another difficult day with high heat, low humidity, and gusty winds in the forecast. In Northern California's Sonoma County, firefighters are battling a massive blaze that erupted Wednesday night and has destroyed dozens of homes and other structures. 60-mile-per-hour winds pushed the flames through a canyon near the town of Geyserville.
You could actually hear the wind coming down the canyon over my neighbors from here. It sounded like a rocket.
The cause of the fire is unknown, but the power company in the area says a transmission tower failed near the point where the fire began.
The transmission line was not among the lines we de-energized in Sonoma County. We still at this point do not know exactly what happened.
Statewide, utilities cut power to more than 209,000 customers to minimize the fire risk. Some areas may get electricity back today, while other communities could go dark. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Santa Clarita, California.
27 countries have pledged $9.8 billion to help poor nations tackle climate change after a two-day conference in Paris. The Green Climate Fund said Friday, as environmental activists slammed the United States for refusing to contribute and other nations for giving too little. The United States did not make any pledge, as U.S. President Donald Trump has decided to stop paying into the fund. Former U.S. President Barack Obama pledged $3 billion toward the fund, but Trump moved to withhold $2 billion after taking office. The Climate Action Network is made up of more than 1,300 non-governmental organizations, cascaded both the U.S. and Australia for refusing to pitch in. And every U.S. intelligence agency agrees Russia interfered in the 2016 presidential election. But President Trump wants to know why the FBI began its investigation in the first place. And Attorney General William Barr is personally overseeing an investigation into its origins. Bofta Yeeman has more details from the White House.
President Trump has long insisted the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election was meant to keep him from winning the White House. And now the Justice Department has opened a criminal investigation into that probe.
Every American has a right to know whether or not the Obama Justice Department was pursuing political goals.
The criminal investigation allows the DOJ to subpoena witness testimony and documents and impanel a grand jury to possibly file criminal charges.
If somebody has nothing to hide about what they were doing leading up to the 2016 election, then they have nothing to worry about.
House Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler and Adam Schiff issued a joint statement saying these reports, if true, raise profound new concerns that the Department of Justice under Attorney General William Barr has lost its independence and become a vehicle for President Trump's political revenge. The new criminal probe allows the White House to go on the offensive at a time when they've been playing defense against the impeachment inquiry. Senior administration officials tell CBS News the White House believes it is losing the messaging battle over impeachment, so it's looking to bolster its communications team.
I talked to Chief Staff Mulvaney. I think they're working on getting a messaging team together.
So far, the biggest pushback is coming from Republican allies in Congress, including Senator Lindsey Graham, who has introduced a resolution condemning the House impeachment inquiry. Bofta Yeeman, CBS News, the White House.
And stay tuned, because after this short break, we'll be back with a look at weather and a look at sports.
When I came into this classroom, I remember our professor said, this is going to be a life-changing class. You might not believe the change is possible, but it is. And then little did I know, just within the semester, we were talking to the media. Now I would say, like, change is possible. If you have the motivation, the drive, the passion, or even the anger, just that spark in you that comes and you say, this is an injustice.
Saturday at 8:30 on WNMU TV.
And welcome back to Public Eye News Weather. I am Adam Diaz, your weatherman for today, and behind me is the Academic Mall at NMU campus, where the sun is shining down on the students. And looking at our current conditions, it is currently sunny. The temperature at 42 degrees, winds at southwest at 11 miles an hour, barometric pressure at 30.21 and falling. Looking towards tonight, it's going to be clear, and it's going to be low of 36, winds southwest at 14 miles an hour. Taking a look at tomorrow, it's going to be partly cloudy. The temperature of high of 55, winds south-southwest at 16 miles an hour. Taking a look across the beautiful UP, where the sun is shining down, and starting inside Sault Ste. Marie at 46, Manistee at 47, Escanaba at 46, Menominee at 45, Iron Mountain and Ironwood both at 46, Hone at 49 degrees, and beautiful Marquette at 42. Looking into our week ahead, we are going to look at Sunday, the high of 54, low of 35, and partly cloudy. Monday, the high of 43, the low of 33, and partly cloudy. Tuesday, the high of 42, the low of 32, and look for snow to start falling. Well, Caleb, I'm not looking forward to the snow starting to fall, but you did tell me about the NMU sports that are going on.
Yep, hopefully the Wildcats are going to be doing great this weekend. The Northern Michigan Wildcats are headed on the road this weekend, as the NMU cross-country team is headed to Purdue Northwest for the GLIAC Championship run tomorrow, where the women's team will run a 6K and the men are taking on an 8K. Men and women's soccer is headed to Saginaw Valley for a matchup tomorrow at 3 p.m. And women's volleyball will be headed to Purdue Northwest as well, and their game against the Pride is slated for 8 p.m. And last but definitely not least, the Wildcats men's hockey team is going to take the ice at Ferris State University tonight and tomorrow, tying a game and winning the other last weekend at Boston University. Hopefully warmed up the Cats for this matchup against the Bulldogs. Puck drop for tonight's game is at 7:07 p.m. and tomorrow is at 6:07 p.m. And no surprises last night in the NFL, as the Minnesota Vikings won against the Washington Redskins, starting the game off with both teams fumbling the ball that changed possession, and the matchup turned into a game of field goals, starting with the Vikings. 4 field goals in a row, alternating turns. Kicking the ball led both teams in the second quarter to being 6-6. Finally abandoning the pattern, the Vikings grabbed a touchdown before heading into halftime. Then going back for more field goals, the Vikings took 2 more field goals, and the Redskins got 1 more. The end score for the game was 9-19, only 1 touchdown through the 4 quarters, and a closer game than the Vikings were hoping for. Week 8 of the NFL continues this Sunday. And a 16-year-old high school student was disqualified from a cross-country race for wearing a hijab. Nora Alexandria Ubukaram is a student of a private Islamic school, but competes in a cross-country for Northview High School in Ohio. Ubukaram had competed in 6 races prior to getting DQ'd at her most recent meet, and there was no problems before. She had run a personal best time for herself this meet, but found out later that the race did not count at all. This is when she also found out the reason it didn't count was because her coach forgot to fill out a waiver for religious items. Upset not at our coach, but at the system that required a waiver for her wearing something that was so important to her religion, she and many others are asking for the removal of the waiver. The Ohio High School Athletic Association is currently looking into the matter and is looking to update the regulations. And that's all the time we have for you today on Public Eye News. Please join us next week when we're back.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.